In my humble opinion, past the Sony DRM thing, it's been a slow week, but I've been also very busy. So we're doing something early Saturday morning. I have seen that they have released the price and the release date for the new Star Wars racing game. Bro, I love the old Star Wars racing game. Like Pod Racer, it peak cinema. Absolute peak cinema. I I have so many copies of that game, it's ridiculous. I'm not even kidding. I've got my Windows 9, like my Windows 95, 98 CD-ROM. Like I've got it. I've always had it near my computer. I've got my N64 cartridge. Like half the time it's in the thing half the time. It's just such a fun game. I own it on PS4, the PS4 port. It's like PS4, PS5. I have it on there, and I've beaten that one. I've got it on Steam. I've beaten that one. I've played it on the Nintendo Switch. I beat that one. I got it on Xbox. Yes, the Xbox is back here too. Get the Xbox. I got it on there, and I beat it on there. Like I own this game on every platform you can own it on, because I just love the game that much. It's probably my favorite racing game. But so like I've seen that it's going to come out later this year. I think it's October. We'll get into this. But they release a collector's. They're gonna release a collector's edition. I don't know if I'll buy that, but geez, it's tempting. It's tempting. I haven't wanted to buy anything Star Wars related in so long. Now that they're releasing a racing game, here's the thing: what they need to do for the racing game, like if this is gonna be any good, what it needs to have is it has to live up to the hype of this game. It has to live up to this. So can it do that? Gosh, I hope so. But man, that's a high bar. Like it's got a lot of tracks in it. So it's gonna have to have as many, if not more, playable tracks and playable characters. Like lots of pods. Gonna have to have lots of pods. Like I do not want to, like when I saw the first trailer of this game and all I saw were speeders and speeder bikes, I was like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. This isn't an actual racing game. And then, of course, at the end of the first teaser trailer, I think they teased Sebulba. But like, hey, who doesn't? I think we all want to just be able to play pod racing. Like the speeder bikes and the speeders are one thing, but I want comically large rocket engines. I want to move at 1,000 miles per hour. If I cannot atomize myself on a tight turn moving at 1,000 miles per hour, I don't care. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I don't care. It has to be fast. It has to be wicked fast. And it has to have comically large rocket engines that I can either customize or I can use a variety of characters pods. Like it has to have all of these things. And so this is going to be I think this is going to be a hard thing to live up to. But I've heard it's being made by the devs who made some of the Burnout series, some of the Burnout games, which are some of the most fun car racing games you have ever probably played, if you've played them. My favorite was either Burnout Revenge was pretty good. I liked that one. Burnout Paradise was fun. I wasn't like, it was kind of in the phase where like Forza was doing open world stuff too, I think. Maybe it was earlier. I don't remember. But I played Burnout Paradise, like I liked it, but like it wasn't Burnout Revenge. I like Burnout Revenge the most. That was personally my favorite. I'm sure other people have a different opinion on that. But anyway, I'm going to get into this article here. Star Wars Galactic Racer goes hard on the Episode 1 nostalgia as release date trailer confirms returning pod racers, Phantom Menace skins, and a $160 collector's edition. Okay, so it's $160 for whatever the collector's edition has in it. I guess hopefully we'll find out here. A stunning new development in determining what is or is not pod racing. Well, this right here is not pod racing. I'll tell you that right now. That is a speeder bike. Is in Star Wars terms, it is a speeder bike, not a pod. It's comically small compared to our comically large rocket engines. Because wasn't like the original inspiration for pod racing like hot rodding, like all those custom hot rods from the 1900s? Like wasn't that like part of the inspiration for Lucas making pod racing? But I don't know. But either way, like I need hot rodding back in Star Wars. Giant, comically large hot rods. Star Wars Galactic Racer already had nostalgia on its side thanks to its spiritual connections to the 1999 release of Episode 1 Racer. A trailer has finally revealed Galactic Racer's October release date, and the devs are going heavy on their appeal to prequel nostalgia. Like, I mean, you should, because like we all like, look, as many problems as the prequel has, it has the consistent George Lucas story, so we love it. Of course we do. And then John Williams. Like, who doesn't like that? All right, so it showcased the Phantom Menace skins for the deluxe edition, on top of a teaser for another returning racer. Awesome. Okay, so the release date is October 6th, 2026. Galactic Racer will be across PS5 series consoles, PC. You can upgrade to the $80 deluxe edition for a handful of additional goodies, including a digital art book, some exclusive vehicles. Like, I hope those are not locked behind the paywall. I hope those are just skins or like cosmetics, and a trip of unique arcade events. Arcade events? That sounds fun. I hope those are good. But it's the library pack included in the deluxe edition that shows where Galactic Racer's heart lies. This includes a Naboo N1 Starfighter paint job. Okay, so I think I remember seeing this in the trailer. Okay, so it looks like this. So it's kind of like the silver front and the yellow body. I see. If you want to spend even more money, there is, of course, a pricey collector's edition for $160 US, or whatever those are. European units, man. Again, American, don't know anything. Howdy. This includes all digital bonuses from the deluxe edition, plus a physical version of the art. Physical version of the art book would be pretty sick. A pair of patches, a banner, and a model of Core Saroon Dark. The Core Saroon Dark Landspeeder. Okay, man, sorry, I can't read. So maybe that's what that is, or maybe that's the other vehicle that you get access to there. Or like one of the other vehicles that was in the trailer. Maybe the most notable thing in today's news is a very brief clip around the 11-second mark of the release date reveal trailer. There we seem to have control of Sebulba's pod racer. I think, yeah, that was like the first-person view of Sebulba's pod racer during the Boonta Eve Classic track. On the Boonta Eve Classic track, ooh. While just off ahead is another racer that will be familiar to those of us who watched episode 1's pod racing scene, Ordy Mandrill. You know, the one with the record-setting pit droid team. Oh yeah, the one where the pit droid goes whoop through the machine. That, I mean, as a kid, that made me laugh. As an adult, that would have made me cringe at the time. But like, I still love it. Who cares? Galactic Racer takes place during the New Republic era in the Star Wars timeline. Several decades after the events of the Phantom Menace, it would be easy to assume that the racers from episode 1 would all be dead or retired by this point in the chronology. But it seems the devs have taken keen to make sure some familiar faces are still in tow. Well, you're gonna have to. Honestly, what they should have just done is just made it do what, like, there was a sequel to Pod Racer. There was like Racer Revenge for the PS2. While not nearly as good as the first game, it had different tracks, a couple of new planets, I think, some day and night tracks. But like, they could have done something like that where they just made another game in that era. They don't have to. You don't have to go to the Disney timeline. You don't have to partake in this. You can just make your game take place anywhere, and then you could put Anakin back in. Like, if you really wanted that pod, you could put that pod back in. Like, then you could play with that, you know. So maybe the timeline won't play in at all. Notably, Mandrill appears here only in the Boonta Eve race with Sebulba, just in the same way Ben Quadranero's Ben Quadranero's the 4-engine guy, the one that explodes, goofball. Another returning episode 1 face appeared in a earlier trailer this year. I've got my fingers crossed that at least some of these characters, or at least their vehicles, will be playable in the game. But it's equally possible that this is just a flashback sequence where we play through the pod race from episode 1. That would be disappointing. Like, they should put in all the characters that we know, just for the sake of having them in the game. Like, it doesn't have to be in my opinion, it wouldn't have to be timeline consistent. Like, just put in all the characters in their pods and just let us have fun with it. Because, like, I think in Racer Revenge, like, there was a Darth Vader pod. Like, I guess the game took place before episode 2, supposedly, in the timeline. But like, there was a Darth Vader pod and a Darth Vader playable character. Like, you don't have to be timeline consistent. You can just make a racing game and make it fun with as many characters and places and locations as possible in the timeline. It doesn't matter. Just put it wherever. Put a bunch of stuff in the game. I was a little worried when the first Galactic Racer trailer seemed to de-emphasize the pod racers, in favor of land speeders and speeder bikes. But I guess that the first Sebulba tease should have been the clue we all needed, that the Galactic Racer was going to pay more than lip service to episode 1's legacy and racing game. Episode 1 Racer's shadow is impossible to ignore when you're talking about Star Wars as a racing game, especially when its sequel, Racer Revenge, is barely remembered and the kart racer Super Bombad Racing is typically forgotten entirely. Yeah, no, nobody knows about that, and Racer Revenge was not good at all compared to the first one. I'm glad at least that somebody still remembers the likes of Orty Mandrill and Ben Quadranero. Exactly. So like this guy is really 100%, this paragraph is 100% correct. As like I said earlier, like you have a huge bar to live up to this game. I'm telling you, like it's a big bar, like because this is a good game and we all love it, man. Like I hope it's good. I'll probably get it. It looks fun, and if it's made by the Burnout devs and the destruction mechanics are not quite as intrusive as they were in Racer Revenge, I get that there could be a little bit of a focus, but like if I'm flying around at 1,000 miles per hour, I'm not going to really have time to run into somebody or bump into people, you know? You're moving so fast at that point. But I want it to be fast. That is my main thing. I want it to just be comically large engines, comically fast. I want to atomize myself on a 90-degree turn. That's all I want to do. But yeah, I hope it's good. So y'all get out of here and be good.